I discussed this. It started out with the four of us who are coming back, and now it's spread. And if you were at the convention, you will recall that when Ron Weiser concluded his remarks, it was, and we are going to fix Michigan. And everything we do has to be justified by the fact that it's going to fix Michigan for us. And we can turn this thing around. I can't give you a lot of detail, but I'm telling you, we sorted out which races we have to win, what it'll cost to do it, and we're getting the people and the resources together. And with your help, we will be able to do this. And so that's very important to all of us, I believe, because the two most important races in 2010 are going to be the Senate and the Supreme Court to protect against redistricting mischief in 2011. Now, I just wanted to show you how bad things are when you try and talk economics and job growth in Lansing. There's a fellow named Hunter Richardson who's a developer, and he's been in it a long time. For those of you who know about Reston, Virginia, which was the first sort of mixed-use city, he was part of that. He bought the old Kmart headquarters. And he wants to put in a mixed-use development there that is $338 million. Now, to knock down Kmart and so forth, he needed a $10 million brownfield credit. Now, the $10 million is not going to be paid up front. He gets it 3 years later after everything's built. And in order for that to happen, I had to put in a bill because Troy is rich and it's not a core city. So I put a bill in that say treat it like a core city in this case. This means jobs, and it's 350 construction jobs the day the snow melts out here, and 1,500 permanent jobs. Talked to the governor, I talked to the Dems, and in the 24th hour or the 25-hour session we had, they killed it. Basically, that Troy's rich, doesn't need the $10 million. Now, I pointed out to him since, because I'm going at it again, Troy has 80,000 people in it, live there. 120,000 people work in Troy. Of the 120,000 people who work in Troy, only 8,000 live there. The other 112,000 commute. So all those Democrat no votes, they were voting against jobs for their own constituency. And that's the kind of stuff we understand when we talk about Cobo, when we talk about the rail line going up Woodward. You put a rail line up Woodward to justify people getting to and from work, either from the suburbs to Detroit or the other way around. And then you kill 1,500 jobs on the other end? Makes no sense. And the big problem there, frankly, is term limits. You can be highly intelligent and ignorant, not dumb, ignorant at the same time. And because of term limits, the House of Representatives is ignorant. Of the 110 members of that body right now, 80 have been there either 2 years or not at all, and the other 30 are lame ducks. So we've got to fix that. And I have a proposal to do so. I have a proposal to take care of the way that we budget that Brooks talked about. And I'll wind up in a second here. That January estimate he talked about, what happens is that estimate says if you accept this number, 22 months from now it'll all turn out okay. 9 months to do the budget, 12 to execute it, and 1 month to figure out what happened. The chances of that thing zeroing out are zero. I did a 10-year moving average. In a down economy, we're off by 4%. 4% is $900 million. The governor has begun her proposed budget every year she's been there, promising $900 million that's never going to be there. She knows that. I've talked to her one-on-one and explained the whole thing to her. When the government shut down, that year she added another $750 million in new promises. That's where that $1.8 billion you heard about came from. So I've got a constitutional amendment. I won't let anybody do that anymore. Whatever that number is, you can only budget at 96%. Now I'll stop and take questions because I know.
All right, we have a question right here.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm a business owner in Royal Oak, and I've had I expanded my business and did some construction, so I understand what it is to deal with the code enforcement and everything like that. It took an extra probably 3 months for me to build it, just because all they did is step in the way. Is there any rating agency that we can actually look at cities and say, this city, it's an average of 180 days, this city is 90 days. If we held them accountable for their inaction, it's buried. It should be shown bright and clear, on the state website. Don't go to Royal Oak, go to Troy. Troy is willing to help you. Yeah. Why is there no clear and easy list so we can see these things?
Well, I have a 4-step process to fix that. Thank you for asking.
Well, you told me to ask that.
Yeah. All right. 4 steps. Step 1, anything you want to do in Michigan, whether it's a questionnaire, application, RFP, RFQ, it's got to be on the internet. If it's not there, you can't do it. Step 2, once the application is ruled complete, you cannot go back and say, what if the smokestack is 2 inches higher? Because we have agencies that have a very sophisticated form of decision avoidance, saying what if instead of no. Step 3, once the application is complete, the clock starts 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever makes sense for the project. And if you don't say no, it's an automatic yes. Step 4, do what they do in South Carolina. If you're in a hurry and you're willing to pay overtime, travel, whatever it takes to get everyone who can say yes and no in the same room, they'll be there. Now the issue is, who decides the application is complete? Can't be the locals, they got NIMBY. Can't be the states, too far away. That's what economic developers at county can do. And that's the plan I'm working on. I've got developers now putting that into developer talk to take care of weather delays, change orders, and so forth. And when they put it into developer talk, I'll give it to the lawyers to write a bill. No one will understand it, but we'll get it out the door.
Very good. We have a question right here.
Boris Trespolsky, American Ideological Society. We are an internet company. I have a question. Nobody really knows what to do with the current economic crisis, except for President Obama, of course.
Yeah.
However, the main contributor to this crisis, from my point of view, is abandoning the most important principle of any economics in any level, micro and macro, which is self-reliance of economics on basic necessities that produced for the population. That was the most important principles of establishing of national economics. What do you think? Is it possible to fix the Michigan by promoting principles of basic economics and self-reliance on, in Michigan?
Well, we try and do that every day in the Republican Senate, and the press won't print it. That's one of the problems. We don't have the bully pulpit.